If you hide your trading losses from your family, this video is for you. Maybe you quickly close your laptop when your partner walks in, or you find yourself checking your phone under the table, hoping no one notices the knot in your stomach. Dinners become quiet, not because there's nothing to say, but because the one thing on your mind is the one thing you can't talk about. You feel this pressure to maintain the image of the successful, capable person they all believe you are. But inside, you're carrying the weight of every red number, every losing trade, alone. This story is about a trader named Danny, but it might as well be about you. Danny was sharp, disciplined, and had a real passion for the markets. He started trading with a solid plan, and for a while, things were going well. His family was proud. They saw him as the smart, ambitious guy who was making it happen. But then, the market turned. A few bad trades became a string of losses. It started small. He'd tell his wife he had a flat day when he was actually down. Soon, flat days became his standard answer. The real numbers were locked away, a secret only he and his screen knew. The secrecy started to take a toll. He'd be at his son's soccer game, but his mind wasn't on the field. He was replaying a bad trade, calculating the margin call he was close to getting. He'd snap at his wife over something small, like what to have for dinner, because his emotional energy was completely drained. The focus he needed for trading was being eaten away by the effort of maintaining this double life. He was spending more energy hiding the losses than he was analyzing the charts. This is a classic psychological trap. When we feel shame about our losses, our first instinct is to hide them. We think we're protecting our ego, we're protecting our family from worry. But what we're actually doing is isolating ourselves. Shame thrives in secrecy. It makes the problem feel bigger, more personal. It whispers in your ear that the loss isn't just a number, it's a reflection of your worth. You start to believe that if you failed at this trade, you are a failure. For Danny, the pressure was immense. His identity had become tangled up with his trading success. He wasn't just Danny, the husband and father. He was Danny, the successful trader. So, every loss felt like a direct hit to who he was. Hiding the losses was his way of trying to protect that identity. But this constant performance, this act of being okay when he wasn't, was exhausting. It was a full-time job on top of the already demanding job of trading. Think about the mental energy this takes. Every conversation becomes a minefield. You have to constantly edit your thoughts, watch your words, and manage your expressions. This mental load is huge. It clogs up the very cognitive resources you need to make good trading decisions. Your ability to stay patient, to follow your plan, to cut losses quickly. All of it gets compromised because your brain is busy running this background program of secrecy. You're trying to trade with one hand tied behind your back. Danny started journaling. Late at night, when the house was quiet, he'd write down everything he couldn't say out loud. The fear, the frustration, the shame. He wrote about a particularly bad day where a position he was sure of went completely against him. He had doubled down, breaking his own rules, chasing the loss. The number on the screen was sickening. He closed his laptop and went to dinner. His wife asked how his day was. He just said fine and stared at his plate, the food tasting like cardboard. He felt a chasm opening up between him and the people he loved most. This is the real costs of hiding losses. It's not just about the money, it's the emotional distance it creates. It erodes trust, not because you're a bad person, but because secrecy is a wall. Your family might not know the details, but they feel the distance. They sense that something is wrong. They see the worry in your eyes, even if you deny it. This creates a secondary layer of stress, as you now have to manage their unspoken concerns as well. So, what's the way out of this cycle? It's not about finding a magic trading strategy that guarantees you'll never lose again. Losses are a part of trading. The real shift comes from how we deal with them. Professional traders, the ones who last in this game for decades, understand this deeply. They don't build their careers on a foundation of secrecy. They build it on a foundation of psychological honesty. They create what psychologists call emotional safety. This means having a person or a small group of mentor, a spouse, a trusted friend, a trading community with whom they can be completely honest about their performance. They don't just share the wins, they share the losses, the mistakes, the moments of doubt. Why? Because saying it out loud takes the power away from the shame. When you verbalize a loss, It stops being a monstrous, abstract failure and becomes what it is: a data point, a lesson, a cost of doing business. This process also helps to reduce identity pressure. When you can openly say, "I took a big hit today," you are implicitly saying, "My performance is not my identity." A bad trading day doesn't make you a bad person. A losing streak doesn't make you a loser. By separating your self-worth from your net worth, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of the market. You can then approach trading from a more grounded, objective place. Your decisions become less about proving yourself and more about executing your plan. Danny eventually reached his breaking point. One evening, after staring at his journal for an hour, he closed it, walked downstairs, and found his wife reading on the couch. He sat down, took a deep breath, and said, "We need to talk. I haven't been honest with you about my trading." It was one of the hardest conversations of his life. He laid it all out. The losses, the fear, the shame of hiding it all. He expected anger, disappointment, but what he got was concern and support. It wasn't an instant fix. The financial hole was real, but the emotional weight was lifted. He was no longer alone. The energy he had been using to hide his struggles could now be channeled into solving the problem. He worked with his wife to create a new financial plan. He took a break from trading to reevaluate his strategy and, more importantly, his psychological approach to the markets. When he did return to trading, he was a different man. He treated it like a business, not a secret obsession. He had a weekly check-in with his wife, where he would go over his performance, wins and losses. It wasn't about getting permission. It was about maintaining transparency. It was about partnership. His trading improved, not because he found a better indicator, but because his mind was clear. He was no longer fighting a two-front war against the market and himself. The key takeaway here is this: emotional honesty protects your performance. The courage it takes to be vulnerable about your losses is the same courage you need to make disciplined decisions in the market. Hiding your struggles doesn't make you strong. It makes you brittle. It drains your focus, saps your emotional capacity, and ultimately hurts your trading and your relationships. If Danny's story resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Many traders walk this path, but you don't have to stay there. The first step is often the hardest, but it's the most important. Find one person you can trust. It could be your partner, a mentor, or a therapist. Start by sharing a small piece of your struggle. Husteltem trading has been really tough lately, and I'm having a hard time with it. See what happens. You might be surprised by the support you receive. Building this habit of emotional honesty is a discipline, just like risk management. It's a foundational skill for long-term success and well-being as a trader. Your performance in the market will always be a reflection of your mental and emotional state. By taking care of your inner world, you're taking care of your bottom line. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember that seeking honesty, both with yourself and with others, is a sign of strength. If you found this helpful, I invite you to subscribe for more content on the psychology of trading. Trade with discipline and be kind to yourself.